I've been impressed by the concept of a micro game. Turns out you don't need endless piles of miniatures or components. You can have fun with just 18 cards. This has been embraced by Button Shy and their range of wallet games. Even better, they offer them print and play to avoid the dreaded and costly postage to Australia. Skulls of Sedlec is a 2 to 3 player game designed by Dustin Dobson in 2020. It's a set collection game where players arrange skulls in order to score the most points. Joining me tonight is my friend Zoe, an ICU nurse that has worked in a hospital system during COVID. Zoe, welcome.
Thank you very much, Liam. It's good to be here tonight.
I'm glad you're here as well. To start off, obviously, you're a nurse. For those that don't know, which is going to be almost every viewer, I'm a student nurse doing a career change. We're talking about our own experiences. We're not talking about any particular patients or any particular hospital. It's just us. Legal disclaimer out of the way. Zoe, can you tell me what COVID's been like for a nurse?
It's been a big change. No one expected a global pandemic to happen. I've been working as a nurse for a couple of years prior to COVID coming along, and everything changed. There was policy changes every week. Everyone was, stressing. We were all wearing masks all of a sudden. It was all very scary. And then we sort of fell into a bit of a routine. You get to work, you put the PPE on and you keep it on for as long as you can manage. And then you go home and you just sleep, and then you go back, and it was a bit wild, a bit of a ride, I guess.
That sounds pretty stressful. Almost as stressful as the decision of what to do at the start of the game. Each turn you can take a face-up card, you can flip 2 and take one of those, or if you have cards in hand and there's maximum hand size of 2, you place a card. And we're placing them in pyramids of 4, 3, and 2. Zoe, you're up to start us off.
All right, I think I'm going to take this face-up card here.
Oh, yeah. So I'm going to flip these 2 over. I'll grab that. So, is it now become routine to work in that environment, that COVID environment at a hospital?
Yeah, look, it can be. There was a period there, sort of around 2021, where pretty much every single day we were in the PPE all day, every single day. But it's died down a little bit, and maybe once a fortnight I'll have a COVID patient and you'll wear the PPE. When you go in the room, it's not like before when the whole place was just COVID everywhere. So it's a bit nicer than it was. No one wants it to go back to the way it used to be. Yeah. Is
it a lot harder in terms of like your shift when you're wearing full PPE?
Yeah, well, we don't wear the full PPE all shift anymore. That was only when we had like a zone which was 100% COVID and all the doors were open, so we'd have to wear it the whole time. Now you only put it on if you actually go into the patient's room. But the N95 masks we have to wear all day, every day, and they're very tight, and I end up with still get marks on my face and dry skin and pressure injuries. So it's not the nicest thing to have to do every day when you go to work.
Well, it also, there are other side effects of the N95, like having to shave your beard, and then suddenly decide that you're going to be someone who has a mustache.
The moustache suits
yeah.
you very well, though,
Thank you.
I've got to say.
So we might see it like referred to a lot, in the news or on like medical programs, but like what is an ICU? What sort of work are you doing while you're there?
So the ICU is the intensive care unit, which is where the sickest patients in the hospital generally are taken for care. So this will include any patient that needs a ventilator, so anyone who's intubated needs a breathing tube, they'll end up in the ICU. You do need specialised training to work in the ICU. You can't just be any old nurse, because there's specialised skills that are required. But not all patients are on the ventilator. There's other reasons. There's certain medications that can't be given on the ward that can only be given in the ICU because they require really, really close monitoring. The other thing that's different about the ICU is there's one patient per nurse. So whereas on the wards, the nurse might be caring for 4 different patients at once. In ICU, it's 1-to-1. So you sit in the patient's room, or if it's a COVID patient, outside the room. for the whole shift, and you can't step away without letting the nurse next door know that you're stepping away, because if anything were to happen, someone needs to be responsible.
So just like a much higher level of
much
care.
higher level of care and acuity. Yeah, is it my go?
It's your go. So it is a multitasking
I know,
segment.
which I should be able to do being a nurse, but it is tricky. I'm gonna. Ooh.
Yeah, I definitely didn't design this segment to distract opponents. Yeah, this is one of those games where like there's 18 cards. I'd heard people talk about it, and I'm like, okay, I'll pay the small amount of money and print to play it. And it's like I've enjoyed how much game there is of just like, okay, these tactics are cool, or I'll make sure like I like doing this, and there's a bit more to it than I thought there was going to be, which is a positive, I think.
It's a bit of strategy. All right. Your go again.
Yeah.
Was that the best
I'll take
idea?
that one.
Whoa.
The high risk, high reward.
I know. That one actually, it could work. It could work in my favour, or it might not. I think it will, so I'm going to take it. Yep.
So I placed that one, so I think it's yours.
Okay, I'm hoping one of these is a romantic. Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
That's what I want. That worked out.
I'll take that. And then we place out
We
our...
place our final cards.
I was going for the Royals tactic by getting a lot of peasants, and then they're each worth a lot of points, but then I just only grabbed one.
I took the last two.
Yeah, I got a bit greedy.
Or I don't know, I think I might have you this time.
Yeah. Well, we'll calculate the scores, and we might do a little bit of a do like a Wayne's World.
This is the important game, so.
Yes,
Yes.
You have got ahead. It turns out I was the one who was distracted. No, yeah, that's how the game goes. You've slaughtered me with these.
Yeah, with the romantics.
Yeah, the 6 points. The high risk, high reward strategy paid off. Well, Zoe, thank you very much for coming down and playing, and also telling us a little bit about what it's like being a nurse and sort of dealing with the COVID situation.
Yeah, not a problem. It was fun.